and welcome back to Scrap with Penny, where paper meets story. I'm so happy to be back with another July project as the guest designer for the Scrap Room. A big thank you again to Rochelle and the team for inviting me to join in the fun this month. It's been such a fun treat to create with these kids and to share them with you. So I started off with the Simple Stories Happy Travel mini kit, and I'll link the projects for that kit below. And today I'm going to dive into the second mini kit that I selected from July to work with, and that is the Paige Evans Happy Haven collection. It's full of color and whimsy and lots of little details. Definitely a step outside of my usual style, but I love a creative challenge and I have a couple of ideas in mind. The Scrap Room's Flavor of the Month kit includes 4 mini kits, and each one is a sampling of a different collection. It's a great little flavor of the collection without, diving into the whole thing. Not only do you get the 4 mini kits, but you can add on. You have options to add on. And included in your mini kit subscription is a sketch, the Freaky Fast Friday Formula Challenge, and a monthly cut file. There's also a great Facebook community that's full of creative friends and even more inspiration. So I'm having a lot of fun playing along with the Scrap Room this month. I'm going to create a full layout from start to finish with this kit, and I'm gonna dive into my process, and hopefully you'll be scrapping along with me. So whether you're part of the Scrap Room community or you're a regular here on my channel, welcome. We're gonna have some fun today. Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss what's next, and come connect with me on Instagram at Scrap with Penny. That's a little bit behind the scenes and some connection in between posts here on YouTube. So let's take a look at what's in the Happy Haven kit, and then I'm going to jump into the layout. So each mini kit comes with 3 sheets of patterned paper and 2 sheets of cardstock. So the first sheet of paper is this cute little blue floral, different colors, different flowers. So that's fun. I'm leaning toward this side, I'll tell you that. The second piece of paper is this pink, and you can see it's got 2 big columns of these heart-shaped flowers, and then, some offsets. And then look at this side. I've got an idea for this, actually for both sides of this. Then a little nod to some blue. Love me some blue. Cute little floral pattern, and daisies are always cute. And then this back side is ladybugs. Ladybugs, ladybugs. So those are our 3 papers. The cardstock that's included in this kit is basic white, and it's smooth. And you may recall, if you saw the Simple Stories Happy Travel video, that I borrowed some of this to create that cut file for my layout. But there's 1 whole sheet left. And then these are the embellishments that come with your mini kit. And it's an assortment, so each person will get different selections, but it's fun to see what you get and to play with it. And I've got my eye on quite a few of these. And in my embellishment add-on kit this month, I believe this was the sticker sheet that was included. But this is going to be fun, and I'm excited to see what I can do with this. Like I said, I've got an idea or 2, and we're gonna dive in. So let me clear off my desk and I'll be right back. Because I borrowed a piece of the smooth white cardstock for Simple Stories Happy Travel, I did go to my stash to get a piece of white cardstock to use for the base on this. And kind of what I'm thinking design-wise is on my left side of the page, we're gonna do 1 strip of these blue flowers, and then I'm going to do a strip of this sheet and a strip of this sheet, and it's going to leave me a center band. And the morning that I finished up the Simple Stories Happy Travel Kit. I actually had an email from Paige Evans about this kit and about this collection, this Happy Haven collection. And I thought, I'm going to see if she's got a cut file. And I scrolled down to the end of the email, and sure enough, there was a greenhouse cut file at the bottom. And so I'm thinking I'm going to bring that in right down here. And it was a free cut file, and it's not the cut file in this month's kit. I just want to make sure you understand that. So it's probably out there for you to access somehow. And I do subscribe to Paige Evans, and she's always sending out a cut file, so they're fun to collect. So let me go ahead. I think I'm going to go with a 5-inch band on this, and I'm going to go with 1 column of these flowers. And so let me go ahead and make those cuts. So I have my 12 by 12 paper cut, and it's not taped down yet. And like I said, I did 1 little column of these. Those seem like blue Cosmos to me, I'm not sure. And I've got this cut where it's going to tuck under there. So what's showing right now is just a little over 3. And then I cut this at 5, and I've got it scooted over, you know, all the way to the right. The other thing I did while I was off camera was go ahead and cut this little greenhouse. This is the free Paige Evans file I mentioned, and the width is 4 1/4. And so I see it kind of going down right about there. And I wanted to show you that kind of to emulate a greenhouse, I put some vellum between the paper and the cut file so that you've kind of got that frosted look. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. And I've got 3 pictures printed, and this large one is a 4 by 4. And then these smaller ones are 2 by 2s. And so this is kind of the direction I'm heading, kind of building a shelf, you know, around the lower half of the page. And I'll do journal strips, I think, right in here. I've got this out of the die cut pack, and I found this little butterfly off the sticker sheet and this tag out of the die cut pack. And this is off the sticker sheet. I'm kind of seeing it go right up there. This page is coming together so fast, but you know, Paige Evans does these extensive collections, and you get so much to play with. So that's kind of what I'm thinking about for my title. And then I thought, let's repeat some flowers down here in the corner. And my friend Sheila, she actually happens to love purple, so it's perfect. And then this is a little tag out of the kit. And what I think I'm going to do is cut it right here and then angle it and turn it into a planter pot that I can tuck this behind. And the Paige Evans file came with some greenery inside. And I cut all that off because I just wanted the greenhouse shape. And so then I'm thinking that these will be my little plants for this side. And I'll probably cut this in half and, you know, split the difference so you get some width there. So look, I mean, really a fast, quick, easy page. You can see here where I took the cherish and the butterfly. And there's some other, you know, elements on here that I can use once I get it, you know, solidified in my mind. So I think what I need to do next is I'm leaning toward matting these photos, and I don't know that I have this shade of blue, but if I do, I'm going to try and find that in my cardstock stash. And the other thing I'm wondering is, should I do some kind of scallop border here to soften this? Or maybe even just a cardstock strip, I don't know. I always struggle when, you know, 2 papers meet up against one another, and and there's nothing there to kind of marry them. I feel like these patterns are not conducive to me stitching on them. I don't know. I don't know why. I just don't see stitching happening on this layout. But I think this is really a great start for this. And what I need to do next is print out my journaling. I'm going to do journal strips and then shop my cardstock stash to see if I can find something that can work behind these pictures. So I did actually have a great piece of matching blue in my cardstock stash. I have a video under my tips and tricks about how I organize my cardstock scraps. So I do have a lot of different colors because I've actually, I was actually able to tour the basil plant twice, and I stocked up. So anyway, I used the Hero Arts Infinity nesting dies to cut my mats for the photos, and I did that primarily to make sure that these two matched and were precise. And I also went ahead and used my Stampin' Up! Scallop punch to create a little scallop border over here, and I like how it marries the blue across the page. I pulled a couple of more flowers for this cluster up here, and I pulled this little month die cut, and I'm going to use this Good Things Ahead sticker right there over where it says month, and I pulled this little gold label. I think I can use it to tuck under that tag. And my journaling is printed off. I will use the Hero Arts journaling die to cut this, and then I'll have these little strips that'll go right down here, and I'll pop them up on some foam. But I wanted you to see what it looked like before I cut them. So I share this in almost every video because I do use journal strips a lot. I use Coley Bing's Google document, her Google Sheets, and I type it up in there. I have this formatted to 5 inches wide, and I, feed it down through my printer, my little photo printer, which sits just to the right of the camera frame. And then now I'll cut this, and it'll go down and it'll look great. Before I forget, this one is 2 inches and this one is 4 1/4. And I did that so I could get some even margins between. And the other thing I decided was to balance out the layout. I decided to move the larger picture over and put the 2 smaller pictures here. So these small photos are trimmed down now to 1.75, and this is still a 4-inch square photo. I am back. I have my journal strips cut with the die, and I've got foam on the back. And with the exception of wondering about this seam right here, I think all of my decisions are made, and I think the next thing for me to do is just start taping it down. Once I get this paper down, I can kind of, see how I feel about this. It might be okay as it is. So I'll get going on assembling this. I am back, and this is all but finished. I saved one picture to take down because I wanted you to see that what I have taken to doing of late is putting my mats onto the paper, and then my mat is stable and my photo can go down, and it's just easier to get the margins even that way. So I've got my journaling in, and I'm kind of treating this as one cluster, and I kind of felt like I was kind of building a shelf for these pictures to sit on. And then I've got this little cluster up here. I've got the gold label. I cut it in half, and I've got foam up on this end, and I've got it flat there just so it gets a little bit of a lift. And then I thought this little These Are the Moments was a nice accent. Over here I did the Good Things Ahead over the month, and this has foam, this has foam. The edges of this have foam. This is flat and this is flat. And so this is pretty, that's pretty layered, but I think to me it needed it. So down here, maybe that needs a little more glue. Down here I added a third, potted plant, and it's from the cardstock sticker sheet. And then here, this is that tag, and I trimmed the hole off, and then I glued it underneath, and it looks like a planter. And I just trimmed the tag at the white part right there. And this is on foam. Here I took this blue die cut of flowers, and I cut it in half, and I had some come this way and some come this way. I put these 2 little pink stickers on here so that I've got 5 floral elements, and then here I've got 3, just kind of moving the color around the page. So let's see, let me go ahead and tape this down, and then I've got 2 more stickers I'm going to put on the page, and then I think we'll be done. So when your mat is stable, you can just go just like that. And then I pulled this little sticker. I'm going to work it in right there. And what I wondered is, have you played with Paige Evans Happy Haven? And how do you feel about floral papers? Because I think I have a whole greenhouse going here. I got the whole flower shop. But, you know, sometimes more is more. I know that when I see Paige Evans' work, she can get it on there. So I just thought I'd see if you had played with this as well before getting your kit. I know that this has been a line that people were waiting on, and there were some hiccups on its delivery. So I think I'll go just like that. And then I pulled this little one to tuck in, and I'm going to tuck that one flat right there. And so that basically finishes it off. Hey, so real quick before we wrap this up, I want you to see what I have left from the mini kit. These are the die cuts that were part of my mini page kit, and the sticker sheet was part of the add-on embellishment kit. So you can see here I've got a little bit left. Then on this paper, that's where I did the cut file, and it's the other side of this. I've got a little bit left of that. I have a really large piece of this blue left. It would be 7 inches left because I used 5 inches. And then I have this piece of paper left. There's a lot left of it here. I thought you'd be interested to see what I have left, because you could definitely get another single page out of it, and you'll just have to watch and see if I come back and decide that I want to actually kill this kit. So that is going to be a wrap on today's layout using the Paige Evans Happy Haven mini kit from the July flavor of the month. I really love leaning into the soft florals and the cozy vibes of this collection. It felt like the perfect match for telling this sweet story about reconnecting with my dear friend. The layout came together using just what was in the mini kit, and I think it really shows how you can take a themed collection and make it your own with a strong story base, photo, and a few personal touches. So I've got 2 more mini kits left to play with from this month's release. Vicki Bouton's Cut and Paste and Echo Park's Firefly. I haven't actually decided yet which one I'm going to dive into next, but either way, I hope you'll join me for the next scrappy adventure. Big thanks again to Rochelle and the ScrapRoom team for this chance to be part of the July fun. I'm so grateful for the opportunity. So if you enjoyed scrapping along with me, and I hope you did, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss what's coming up next, and come hang out with me over on Instagram at Scrap with Penny, where I share behind the scenes. So as always, thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a thing. I'll be back soon with more layouts, videos, and a little stash busted magic. So please come back and crop with me. Until next time, happy scrapping, and remember, this is where paper meets story. Bye-bye.